You're welcome back to the Gavel. Now let's take a look at some more major activities which took place in the Senate and the House of Representatives during the week.
For presentation.
A bill which seeks to create an equivalent of Sharia Court of Appeal for Christians has passed second reading in the House of Representatives. The bill, which seeks to amend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, to provide for the establishment of the Ecclesiastical Court of Appeal FCT Abuja and the 36 states in the country. The sponsor of the bill, Representative Estefanos Gang, says when established, the court will complement the regular courts in educating in matters relating to the tenets of the Christian faith between individuals and groups that yield and submit to its jurisdiction.
About 14 provisions and alterations with about 4 insertions to provide for the establishment, like I've said, of ecclesiastical courts in Nigeria. And indeed, it complies and conforms with Section 37 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic, which guarantees freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, including worship, teaching, and practice and observance.
The House of Representatives during the week passed through second reading a bill seeking to grant special economic status to Lagos State to ensure that the state receives the necessary support from the federal government to develop critical infrastructure and cater to its rising population. A similar bill suffered defeat in the Senate but was repackaged in the House of Representatives to include consideration for special status to Kano and Anambra, as well as states with cities within the threshold of 10 million inhabitants, which meet the criteria for megacity by the United Nations. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives on Wednesday summoned the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation and 19 other oil and gas companies operating in Nigeria over the $17 billion worth of country's crude oil said to have been stolen from undeclared exports between 2011 and 2014. An ad hoc committee set up by the House to investigate the theft was inaugurated at the National Assembly on Wednesday by the Deputy Speaker, Yusuf Lasun. The committee, which is chaired by Representative Abdulrazak Namdas, said over 57 million barrels of Nigeria's crude were illegally exported and sold in the U.S. alone within the period under review.
Preliminary reports allege that over 57 million barrels of Nigerian crude oil were illegally exported and sold in the USA between January 2011 and December 2014. The estimated revenue lost by the government of Nigeria is around $12 billion at an exchange rate of 196 to US $1 at that time. This translates to over 2 trillion. So far, we have written to these companies to provide us with relevant information to enable us commence proper investigation.
The House of Representatives has also set up an ad hoc committee to carry out investigation on the approach for the repatriation of historical artifacts carted away from Nigeria. This followed a motion by Representative Ayokunle Isiaka, which was unanimously adopted through voice vote. Moving the motion, Representative Isiaka explained that many of the masterpieces that were carted away had been located in the schools, institutions, and museums in the United States of America and Europe.
Concerned that Nigerians, especially the coming generations, are being deprived of the opportunity to experience major artistic works which reflect our rich historical culture and heritage, and also deny the benefits of an important part of our national life, while the USA, France, Switzerland, and Germany display Nigeria's famous arts and antiquities in order to attract tourists and earn revenues for their respective governments.
Representatives of government agencies, commercial banks, labor unions and entrepreneurs gathered in the National Assembly before the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and other financial institutions. They're here for a public hearing to discuss the proposed legislation to repeal the Bank of Industry Act, the Bank for Commerce and Industry Act, and the National Economic Reconstruction Fund Act, and establish instead the National Development Bank of Nigeria. According to the Senate, with the severe economic situation the country is in, comes the need for innovative thinking.
So it is not a time to relax or mourn, but it is a time to really think outside the box on issues that can help us come out of the pangs of this present economic predicament.
The acting managing director of the Bank of Industry said it will not be in the interest of the country to dissolve the bank, as it has, over the last 15 years, built up international reputation in the sector.
And helping the board, such that today we are rated by Fitch AA+ last year. It was affirmed this year, while those of other banks were downgraded.
Other participants highlighted their particular concerns.
We would have been very happy if we see an indication of how much capitalization the bank will operate on.
If there are issues with BOI, what don't we do in structuring to strengthen it, or if there are legal issues, correct them rather than dissolve them?
I can't align with TUC and Labour Congress or more that you retain BOI, Bank of Agric, and all the other ones. Whatever it is to make them work, let them work a while.
We went to first bank, there are a lot of us, they refuse to even listen to us. Why? Because we're highest. We're only highest. So we're highest. Nobody wants to do good business with us. It was at that time we met Bank of Industry in 2010.
Some of the entrepreneurs called for the Bank of Industry to be strengthened. The observation was also made that government has to put in place the enabling environment that will allow funding of the small and medium enterprises to bear fruit.
This is a meeting between the Senate Committee on Diaspora and the acting Nigerian High Commissioner to the UK. The committee is in London to interact with the Nigerian diasporan community in the UK. The acting Nigerian High Commissioner to the UK brings to the attention of committee members the myriad of problems facing Nigerians living in the UK.
I want the distinguished senators to actually maybe help us, because I've had meetings with the Controller General of Immigration, I've had meetings with the Minister of Interior, but it's a problem that does not seem to go away, because Nigerians here, once we are not able to issue them with the travel document, that is what the yardstick they used to judge us, that we are failing in our duty. And we try to explain to them that the issue of passports, we do not produce passports. We are only giving the passport booklets. And what we are giving, we issue out. To put it in the proper context, I think as of today, the passports backlog we have in this mission is up to maybe September 10th or 15th, thereabouts. 6th, September 6th, that's where we stopped. Then of course they will have Nigerian students who are here with us, and the students, some on scholarship, they have not been able to get their money paid.
Members of the Senate Committee on Diaspora respond to the request for assistance by the High Commission.
I will take that up to my committee to look at, for the ministry to brief us on the implementation of the scholarship program across border, particularly in the UK.
Speaking to journalists afterwards, the chairman of the Senate Diaspora Committee says members would work to find solutions to some of the problems which Nigerians living in the UK are confronted with.
In speaking with them a couple of minutes ago, they have tabled a number of challenges to the committee, some of them involving diaspora and some of them involving the work that the Commission does, the High Commission does here in Nigeria. And we have basically said that, especially the aspect of Nigerian passports, where you have such a huge backlog of it. And we have said that the committee would go back and interface with the Committee on Interior and with the Ministry of Interior with a view to finding out how best we can approach and handle this problem, both the passports and the visas. Of course, we have also noted the problems they have with funding of the High Commission and the problem of security, especially the Biafra agitations that take place here in the UK.
Now this is where we draw the curtain on this week's edition of the Gavel. If you have any views on any of the issues discussed, please email us on thegavel@channelstv.com. Thank you for staying with us and see you again next week.